Business of Drag and Me with your host, the wonderful Braden. We'll talk about taxes, we'll talk about business, we'll talk about life. Spill the tea. See you there. Ow, whoa.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to the Business of Drag podcast, where I, your host, Braden, a regionally known tax professional, interviews internationally acclaimed drag talents. Like today's guest, a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10 and All Stars 5. Mayhem, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Trying to survive in the summer heat right now.
Yeah, I feel you. Do you have air conditioning?
I do, thank God.
Okay, that's good. So we have that like in our house, but not, my office is actually a converted garage. So I'm doing my best out here with a fan, but you know.
No.
Luckily, I think it's maybe like a little cooler in San Diego than you are. You know, it's probably like 78, 80 today. It's not too terrible, but.
Oh, that's not too bad. I was down there yesterday and it was hot.
Yeah, it was pretty warm. Okay, so first question for you as we get started. Can you tell us your preferred name that you like to go by me or anyone else, both in and out of drag, along with your preferred pronouns?
Okay, so my preferred pronouns are and no. No, I am very like fluid with it. I'm just like he, him, she, her, like I whatever it is, I go with it. So
okay, cool.
I'm not very particular. But Dawn is my given name that I go by, and then of course Mayhem Miller is the stage name.
Guess who finally decided to crash the party?
But usually everyone calls me May. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I like that. May. I noticed that was your Zoom name. I ask because I know everyone has their own preference, right? And one of the things, and I'm curious to see what other people's thoughts are on this, but I, as like a tax person, I'm a lawyer by background. I always kind of think of it as like May or Mayhem would be like the talent in your business. And then you, Dawn, are like the CEO of the business behind the scenes. But everyone else feels like, you know, a little bit different about that based on their personal preferences.
The rule of thumb I go with when it comes to that, I'm like, however I introduce myself to you, then that's the way to go. Okay. So if I introduce myself, if I'm as Mayhem, I'm like, it's fine. You can call me Mayhem. But if you meet me as Dawn, I'm like, just call me Dawn. It's cool.
Okay, cool. I also know like some queens like don't really like having their personal name out there either. So it's always good to ask. Okay, we're gonna kick it off with like a lightning round of questions. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we'll start pretty simple. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tia Coffee. Are you a fan?
Wait, what?
I said, what about Tia Coffee, the drag queen? Are you a fan?
I was like, I know that name. How do I know that name? Well, I'll say I'm a fan.
Okay, cool. I had to ask that one after saying tea or coffee. So tea, beer, wine, cocktails, or mocktails?
Wet.
What? What does that mean?
As long as it's wet.
Okay. You'll drink it. You're good. Okay, awesome. You have the night off of work. Are you staying in or going out?
Oh, I'm staying in.
Okay, but you said you did go out last night and you were not working, right?
Yeah, last night I was like, okay, I need a drink and I want to go dancing. So
okay, I like that. All right. Favorite season of Drag Race other than your own?
Ooh, 2.
Because Morgan was on that one?
Yeah, Morgan and Raven were on that one. And it was the one that they lied to me about auditioning for because I thought we all said no when they asked. Back then, they would scout talent. So they came and asked us if we wanted to do it. And we all were like, no.
Yeah, you didn't know what it was going to be at that point, I'm sure. Yeah, I think when I got like started watching it, I think season 2 and 3 were on Hulu and I like binged those. And that was like right before season 4 like aired. So season 4 was the first one I watched like live.
Oh, okay. Wait, who was in 4?
Chad, Sharon, Fifi. Yeah.
Okay, that was a good one.
Yes, that was a pretty good one. Your favorite go-to lip sync song?
Show Me Love, Robin S.
Okay. Favorite place to perform?
Oh my gosh. VIP nightclub.
Where is that?
That's here in Riverside.
Okay, cool.
And queen of the motherfucking party, Miss Mayhem Miller. It's so low for me. Keep pushing on. Things are gonna get better. It won't take long. Don't push it to the top. Don't push it to the top. Keep pushing on. Things are gonna get better. It won't take long. Don't push it to the top. Don't put it. Gotta keep on pushing to the top.
I'll have to go up for a show sometime. Favorite month of the year for drag?
December.
Because it's cool.
Because I don't sweat in the middle of winter, thank God.
Okay, I thought that would be kind of an interesting question to see what people would say. I'm like, I don't know, maybe people really love like Halloween. I have no idea.
No, I hate Halloween. Oh,
you hate that? Why?
Yeah.
Because like everyone thinks they're a drag queen on Halloween. Is that why?
Well, a lot of drag queens are born on Halloween, which is true. But I hate it because everyone wants you to pit them in drag.
Yeah, they need to pay. They need to. Yeah, they got to pay for that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no more painting people for free. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, that actually is like a great lead in to my next question. So imagine you're back on RuPaul's Drag Race and your task is to give me a family makeover. What song are you picking for me to lip sync to?
Oh my God, I would never pick for someone. I would have to ask you things about yourself.
Okay.
And try to lead you in a direction that you should go.
All right, it'd have to be something really easy because I possess none of the requisite talents it would take to be a good drag queen, so.
Can you sing?
No.
Okay, so we can't go singing route. Because I would say just sing Happy Birthday and that could be your performance.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I actually thought if I had to do this, I would have a reveal, and then under the reveal, it would just be like a baggy T-shirt that says "Go Girl, Give Us Nothing," and then I would do like a soft choreo Hillary Duff moment.
Look, you just planned out my whole performance for tonight.
That's a good, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm at least gonna get like one laugh out of this, right?
I mean, drag should be fun at the end of the day. It shouldn't be taken seriously.
Agreed. Like, that's something that works like for your very first lip sync of your life, and then you're kind of fucked after that.
Yeah, after that, then you're gonna have to like, come up with something else.
Yes, exactly. I'll have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so that was fun. Give us a little bit of background. Now I want to kind of ask you a little bit about your drag journey. So you mentioned a lot of drag queens are born on Halloween. Was that your drag birthday as well?
No, my drag birthday is May 10th. I just recently celebrated my 20th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does one like throw a party for that, or what do you do?
Well, I share my drag birthday with Raven. We started the same show, same club, same day. And we used to celebrate. We used to like have a party every year for it. And now, we're just at that point where it's like, girl, it's just another fucking day.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Fun. Okay. So what made you kind of decide you wanted to get started?
I wanted to start doing drag for a few reasons. One, I discovered it like most people through television and movies. I saw Tu Wong Fu when I was a kid. I saw RuPaul, of course, and was very intrigued by it. But I didn't see it until I was an adult when I went to my first club here in Riverside at VIP and saw my first drag show and was completely mesmerized. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. Like I had a theater background. I sang and danced and did choir and theater all throughout middle school, high school. So it was like, okay, once I left high school, it was like, this is kind of like theater, but like the way I want to do it. So I went to it was a competition at the club, and I just wanted to go and support my friends that were going to compete, but I wanted to go in drag just to hang out and just be pretty. And I went, and the host was like, "Why are you not in the show?" And I'm like, "Oh."
I think that's pretty good if the first time in drag you're being asked why you're not performing.
Yeah, well, back then I used to be a go-go dancer, and she looked at me and was like, "Aren't you the guy that's always on the box?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, why aren't you on stage? Like, you're obviously not afraid of the stage. Why are you not in the show?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't think about it." And she was like, "You need to do it next time." So I did the competition and won, and realized that I could make money doing this and get free drinks. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it more often. And that little hobby turned into a career 20 years later.
Yeah, I always wonder like what the allure is for everyone, because I'm assuming it's a little bit different for everybody, whether it's, you know, like you want to be on stage, you like having an audience. If it's more like the glamour, the makeup, like that aspect, it sounds like probably all of that for you.
It was all of it. Like, I love performing. I love the glamour of drag. I'm an artist, so like being able to express yourself, you know, in that type of way is different than the normal. So it just was so much fun. And then of course the attention, and I was pretty. So
I'm
like, why not go out and be pretty and like just be, you know, praised by so many people when you walk into a room. Like it was just so much of all of that put together that I was like, okay, I want to do this.
Yeah, we do all like attention. Do you ever watch Family Guy? Are you a fan?
I used to. I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah, same. I watched it like probably in high school, but there's a scene where they go to the fair, and I forget what the son's name is. I want to say it's Chris, if anyone's listening and they're like a huge fan. You know. Okay, so Chris, he plays like a carnival game, and his prize is a gay, like, you know, probably not super PC nowadays, but he wins a gay.
Usual prizes at the carnival this year.
Oh, winner! Congratulations, son. You've won a genuine live homosexual. Ooh, where are we going? Wait, don't tell me.
Oh boy! Mom, can I keep him?
Well, it's a big responsibility, Chris. That means you'll have to clean up after him and feed him.
What do you eat?
Attention!
I like your hair.
Still hungry?
You have a beautiful speaking voice.
I'm full.
And I tell the story because it's my college best friend said that like that was me. So I understand that aspect of like wanting to do drag for sure.
I think the queen is coming soon.
No. I'll stay a little bit in the background helping with the tax stuff. So you did mention like you got started.
Good to know, 'cause I'm going to need it. I said that's good to know because I need a new tax person.
Okay, I got you. We'll talk about that for sure. We're kind of getting into that because you mentioned like you did you did this competition. You won, you realized you could make money at this. What was it like? So you're full-time in drag now. How long were you not full-time? And what was it like when you started out?
Ooh, the early stages of drag, I think maybe 3 years into me doing drag, I still had a 9-to-5. And after I realized that there was no way to juggle a 9-to-5 and working until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I had to make a choice. And I was like, I want to choose the creative avenue. And so I let go of the 9-to-5s and just really immerse myself in trying to build something with Mayhem.
Yeah. And what was your 9-to-5?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. When I left high school, I didn't have the money to go to college, so I decided to go to work and save money. And I ended up joining Americore, which is like a domestic Peace Corps. And I was placed locally here in my community to work with underprivileged children. And I I basically taught creative writing classes, leadership skills, and after school programs. And
Nice.
then once I did that for a year, I ended up getting offered a job through the mayor of Riverside, and I worked with the city and worked within the school district system. And I worked in elementary, middle school, and high schools doing drug and alcohol prevention. And
Okay.
so I would go to schools and promote, just leadership classes, trainings on how to deal with substance abuse and other avenues you can do outside of that. Just trying to like steer kids in the right direction,
Yeah.
so that they don't detour. And I did that for a few years.
So you're teaching the children like during the day and then in the evening with the
And
glamour.
then at night, I'm being a complete debaucherous person.
I love that. Okay. So yeah, that sounds wild to me because, you're working full time and then you're going, how many drag shows are you doing a week at this point in time?
Well, at that point, it was like maybe one show a week.
Yeah.
But I was, back then, there weren't so many drag shows because drag was not popular at that point. So I would just go out to different places in drag every night just to get my name out there and get people to talk about me and know who I was as a socialite in the nightlife scene. So it was just me networking every night in drag from LA to Palm Springs, San Diego, Orange County, just boom, 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 hitting up all the spots.
And so what I'm curious about, because I have my own business, so I understand the work that goes into building a business, like the networking behind it. What's hard for me to picture though is like, during what time are you like gathering all of your looks and like doing all of that? Like, are you sewing costumes? Are you just buying stuff? What does that look like?
No, because back then I was poor and a truly struggling artist. So a lot of my drag was gifted to me, or I stole it.
And this was like pre-Amazon, so you couldn't like 2-day ship it to your house, I imagine?
No, there was no such thing as Amazon. I would go to like Forever 21 or the local swap meet and like buy a little dress and try to find some jewelry and a wig and just, piece together something to look presentable to go out in. And then like queens like Raja would like call me or call Morgan and be like, come to my house. I have a bag full of trash that I don't want anymore. And so I would get a lot of hand-me-downs from her. And within those hand-me-downs, I now own 3 of RuPaul's drag, or not RuPaul's Drag Race, RuPaul's old drag that Raja ended up getting many years ago. So like, so I have like 3 things that RuPaul used to wear. And I've never been able to show her either. And I'm so fucking mad because every time I've been on Drag Race, I bring those things with me so I could be like, oh, when I have my 101, I could be like, look at the things that I have that you used to have. And she'd be like, what, how the fuck did that happen?
So did you just forget with all of the other like millions of things they're asking you to do like in front of television cameras?
You just get lost in the moment.
Yeah.
Until you get home, you're like, oops.
So I'm curious when it comes to Drag Race. I always wonder as I start to interview people on this podcast, is this something that like you're like, I love to be part of it and I love to talk about it all the time, or to a certain extent, do you wish like people would ask you non-drag race related questions more?
On my social media, all my followers know, do not, whenever I go live, do not ask me about Drag Race.
Fair.
That is my rule. If you ask me about Drag Race, it's a quick way to get blocked. So like when people come in, they're like, oh, what do you think of this season? All my followers usually will comment to whoever that person is, and they're like, you will get blocked if you ask her that again. She is not playing. If she is not talking about Drag Race, do not ask about Drag Race.
And do you have that kind of perspective towards like your experience on your show, or you really don't want to talk about like the current seasons that are airing, or both?
I always tell everyone I will speak freely about my experiences with the show, but I do not like being asked about current seasons because, for one, I don't know those people personally, and I would hate to say something out of pocket or out of turn and it be used against me. So because I know how the fan base is and how messy people can be. So if I were to, if you were to ask me about someone, I would be like, I don't know her. And then people are like, oh, she doesn't like that person. And this, no. So I don't, I stay away from talking about Drag Race when it comes to other seasons than mine.
Yeah, so I've always been a huge fan, but mostly just watch the show, and then I'm very active on YouTube, but never really on social media. And so for this new business, I just created a Twitter account for it right before DragCon and started following everyone. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, this is wild. These people are out of control. But it's, you know, entertaining, I guess.
The fan base is insane.
yeah. I'm just like everything. I don't know. I guess it's like a lot of people are just like everything's like black and white. There's no nuance. Like anyhow, it's a little bananas. So you're working, you're doing your thing, 3 years, full-time in your full-time gig, obviously, basically probably doing drag full-time as well. It sounds like you really had 2 full-time jobs. What changed for you once you were able to leave your 9 to 5? And if you don't mind me asking, was that like financially scary for you, like saying goodbye to that paycheck?
It was extremely terrifying because I was taking a leap of faith and believing in my art. And I really thought if I dedicated myself to Mayhem, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I knew if I continued doing my 9 to 5, I would not be fully immersing myself and my energy into making that come true. So I was just like, you know what, let's just do it. And if you have to eat, you know, top ramen for the next few years, you're just gonna have to do it. If you're gonna have to sleep on the couches, you're gonna have to fucking do it. So yeah.
Did having that extra time in your schedule like afford you flexibility to do things that you weren't able to do before that?
No, because I was bad with managing my time. So I would go out all night long and then I would sleep all day long and then wake up and rinse and repeat. So my whole lifestyle completely changed.
Well, you were probably, I hope at least you were like better rested for your gigs than at that point.
Always rested and hungover.
Rested and hungover. All right. Just drink. I'm telling past Mayhem to drink a lot of water.
That would have been good advice.
Yes. Speaking of good advice, it's like one specific question I had for you. If you could tell, I won't make you do the whole like tell 20 years ago you, like I think that's played out enough on Drag Race already. But if you were going to give advice to like a new queen who's getting started now on what you wish you would have known then, what would you tell them?
Don't quit your day job.
But for how long? Like until you're making X amount of money in your drag business?
I with the younger kids now, whenever they ask me things, I always tell them you need to make sure that you have a security blanket. You have to make sure that you make the smart decisions and the smart moves. If you have a job that is paying your bills and you are set, then you need to keep that and make drag a secondary thing. Make it a hobby. Make it something that you do on the weekends, or every so often you come out and do something special once a month. Or don't think that you can automatically get into drag and it's going to turn into this huge career, because it does not happen for everyone. And then sometimes you get, you know, lost in trying to make that happen. So if you have something good going, keep it. Don't be stupid and jump, because you need to make sure that you're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, what I like to tell like my clients is typically, this is for other, you know, for other businesses in the past, but like don't leave your job until your side hustle that you want to be your full hustle is can afford to pay at least 50% of your bills. And you have the other 50% of your bills saved in the bank account from your full-time job for however long you think it's going to get, you know, the revenue to get there, which is usually like about 6 months to a year of savings.
Absolutely. Good advice.
Yeah. This is the sexy information we were going to share on the Business of Drag podcast. Savings. Very exciting. So you mentioned you were going around Forever 21, all these different stores, buying some outfits and things for your shows. I'm assuming that you weren't being super diligent about keeping all those receipts at that point in time. What was your record keeping process like?
Receipts.
Yeah, receipts? You keeping your receipts
no.
now? I don't know.
You know what? I'm terrible at keeping track of everything. I'm very bad. But thank God of having like digital like records of what I spend, because I'm like, okay, at least I know that I spent this here, spent that there, but before holding actual copies of receipts, that was just a mess. I could never really stay on top of that.
Do you have a business account for your drag, like a business bank account?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to. I had got some bad advice once I got on Drag Race. And someone told me, you need to start a business and this and that. And it just became a mess. And
why do you think that was bad advice?
The person who was in like trying to steer me in that direction was trying to also take advantage of me because I didn't know what to do about this whole thing. So it was like, okay, well, let me manage your money and, give me all this access to your money and everything will be fine. And I was like, wait, what am I doing? I'm going to end up being one of these people that you see these celebrities that end up saying, oh, I'm bankrupt because I didn't know what I was doing with my money. And I trusted someone with all this information and they robbed me blind. So I was like, no, let's get you out of the equation and let me actually take care of my business the way that I need to. And so I dissolved my business a couple years back and now starting to do the proper things like I should have done the first time around.
Nice. Yeah, so here's the thing. It's always good to give someone access to your financial records if they're a trusted professional who can give you advice, but no one else should ever be able to spend your money for you. So they shouldn't have that level of access, right?
No.
Yeah. Was this person a friend, a tax professional, or like a manager type of person?
This person had a lot of different hats.
Okay, got it.
So I had got information from another person who was like, oh, you should try this person because they do everybody's stuff. And I was like, no.
Yeah. My goal, and there are a lot of different kind of like fields, obviously, that serve really every type of business, but I'm going to be doing a podcast on the different types of financial professionals, like what's a CFO, a CPA. I'm technically a tax attorney. What's the difference between all of us? Who should you trust? All that kind of stuff. What I would really like to do is get a hold of some of the client contracts from some of the people that serve these industries so I can see what these entertainment professionals are signing on for when they work with these people. Because I've heard a lot of interesting stuff just from the small handful of people I talk to.
I feel really bad for some of my sisters who have been taken advantage of because, as you probably have heard, a lot of people walk into the fame of Drag Race and get propelled into this whole like different monster of the industry, and they don't know, they're ignorant to it, and they just trust whoever comes along and realize that some of these people are not working in their best interests. So
yeah. And I mean, the reality is there's, a lot of people who want to capitalize off your success. I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that because I would put myself in that bucket. Like I've started this new business in this industry because you all are doing a lot of great things. You're making money, but I realize someone needs to help you manage that money. But, there's people who are going to do it with integrity and people who aren't. So we just got to be careful who we work with at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some of the gigs that you're doing. So we talked about, I mentioned that I'm going to be at your show in San Diego this Wednesday. When you do these shows, what's the makeup of like pretty established queens and entertainers versus like people who are pretty new on the scene?
What do you mean? Ask it one more time.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at, the direction that we're headed in, is I'm curious how hard it is for newer drag queens to break into the scene, what they have to do, what's considered professional? Like, who do you like to work with? What would you tell them? Like, hey, bitch, stop doing that if you want us to take you seriously. This whole conversation is what I want to have.
It's so much easier these days to become a drag queen because everyone has access to knowing how to. Before, back in the day, you didn't have that information. You had to know another queen who can actually teach you and show you. And I was lucky to have a mentor who guided me in the right direction and basically, let me know, hey, I will help you one time and you have to figure it out for the rest. This is supposed to be your art. It's supposed to be personal. It's supposed to be what you discover from it. And I love that aspect of how drag used to be. It's because it was you have more ownership because it's yours. You develop it and it becomes something. It's not just manufactured like this overnight and it's boom, presto. Now, someone can go on YouTube or look at someone's Instagram and say, okay, I studied this person's face. I know how to wear. These are the wigs that are current that everyone likes. This is the type of outfit that I need to have made. And oh, this person tagged this designer, in this picture. So I'm going to reach out to them and have them make me something similar. Like, it's so much easier. And for me, it's not true art because it's a copy of someone else's work.
Do you feel like there are a lot of queens now where you can look at them and say like, oh, like you're doing Raven's makeup or you're doing Trixie's makeup?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I just had this conversation with Trixie the other day and I was like, Raven really revolutionized and taught a whole new generation of queens how to do makeup because they all look like her now. They all take that blueprint and that's what they applied to how to do drag, which is amazing. I'm happy what my friend had did, but for me, like, a lot of people think that that's the only way that you're supposed to do drag and that's the only way that you're supposed to look. And I've had people be like, oh, well, I don't like the way you do your makeup. I'm like, well, that's what my face does. I give you what I give you. It's not what you want me to give you, because then that means that I'm not doing my art. I'm doing what you want me to do, which is not what this is.
I know very little about makeup, and I feel like I could confidently say that you have very, very good makeup. And I would imagine that a lot of people who actually know what they're talking about compliment you on it pretty regularly.
You know what? It's probably the most dearest thing to me, because one of my 9-to-5s before we were talking about it, my last 9-to-5 was I was a makeup artist for Clinique for a couple years. And I really loved the artistry of doing makeup. That's what kind of really, really, really made me want to dive more into it. And when great makeup artists acknowledge my work and tell me that they like what I do is the biggest compliment that I can ever get from anyone, because I'm like, the main thing of drag artists is your art, is your paint. So when someone recognizes your paint as being extraordinary and excellent, like, it's like, okay, yay, I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, I get the same feeling when I write a lot of wedding industry contracts and my clients tell me that their client who's a lawyer said they had a really good contract. Same thing, just a lot less exciting and sexy than what you're talking about. So I'm curious if you don't mind sharing about Raven though, because from someone who, again, doesn't really know anything about makeup, what is it from Raven's makeup that people are like lifting, or what did she do like at whatever point in time that was like distinct enough that people wanted to copy it?
I think her style is very influenced by eye.
Yeah. And
the way that she shapes an eye, it's always pulled and is angled at a certain like way that it changes the eye shape, and the way she does and manipulates it, and the way that she contours and highlights it's a masterclass. It's so fucking good.
Your lashes look amazing.
I love what you got. I love.
Thank you.
I'm living. I'm getting my best life.
And a little mascara.
I love it.
And 5 pairs of lashes.
That style, like, I'm not going to tell too much because But I know where the inspiration came from, and it's amazing what she has done with it. And shit, I wish my skill level was up there.
Well, what do you ever bump into newer drag queens and be like, you stole my face? Does that ever happen to you?
No, I get a lot of younger queens who tell me that they stole my face.
And you're like, I don't see it for you. Like, you didn't do a very good job.
It's flattering because I get a lot of queens that will tell me, not even older queens too. They'll say, I've watched your tutorials, or I watched you, paint on your live or whatever. And they're like, I learned so much from the way that you paint, because I do paint differently than the typical queen of color. Like my technique is way different than how a lot of people do it. So a lot of people will let me know, like, wow, like you showed me something I did not know.
What's different about it?
I like to contour using powder, not cream. A lot of people like to contour cream. I don't. The way I manipulate light is different. Like I paint for a back row in the fucking stadium. Like I want you to see definition and structure. A lot of people want to go for the more softer, I want to say like softer, like Instagram.
I was gonna say Instagram, yeah.
Minimal. A lot of people like a minimal look these days, and I'm a maximist. Like I want all the makeup. I want the glitter. I want the rhinestones. I want all the fucking color. Like I want drag, and I paint for that.
Okay, so I think that's you said you're a maximalist. I think it's a good transition, because I wanted to ask you a little bit about like the cost of makeup. You said you used to work for Clinique, and was that in a department store? They don't have like standalone stores, do they? I'm probably sounding really ignorant.
No, I was at Clinique and in a Macy's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how does like the cost of drag makeup differ from, someone who's just wanting like everyday makeup look? Are you spending like a shit ton more because you're putting more on, or using different kind of product? Like, what does that look like?
I'm one of the people who will tell you cheap is good. Especially when it comes to drag makeup, because we use so much of it. And for someone like me who works nightly, you go through it faster than, a normal person who will wear makeup, every so often. So I always go the cheapest route, because it's not about the product, it's about how you apply it, how you use it. And working in the beauty industry for so long, I know that for a fact, a lot of makeup is manufactured in the same laboratories, the same factories, but just packaged differently.
Yeah.
So you're paying, something crazy for a lip liner that is, $25. But if you were to go to Rite Aid right now and go to the little, you can get it for $2.
Is that is Rite Aid? Is that your go-to makeup shopping destination?
Wherever I'm at, if I see something that I think I might need or want, I'll grab it. So I can go to a drugstore and find something, or I can go to the swap meet and grab. I go to the swap meet a lot and buy what I need.
Yeah.
But then there's other things that I can't get at those places, so I have to go to actual professional makeup stores to get it.
Do you get a lot of, I'm like blanking on what that term is, like a lot of free product from companies?
Oh, gratis.
Yeah.
Well, when we worked at the counter, they would say, oh, you have some gratis. So like we would get free product from the company. And then like, I get a lot of promo stuff from other companies. Like I used to partner with, well, I still am like a partner of Hank and Henry Beauty. So they send me a lot of stuff that I use and promote for them sometimes. Trixie sends me a lot of makeup. Who else sends me makeup?
It's good to have friends who own makeup companies, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's really nice because you never run out of stuff. You always have something that you can use.
So that's what I wanted to ask. I consider myself a minimalist in most respects, mostly because my brain is chaotic enough that I need to keep my like surroundings like pretty streamlined. Do you ever feel like you have like too much makeup, like you're swimming in it, or are you thinking like, no, I'm gonna use all this shit like at some point? I'm happy to have it all.
I what I do is I have like a stock area of makeup that I don't use, but I use it for my clients when I do freelancing.
Oh, nice.
So I have my makeup and then I have client makeup. My makeup is very minimal. It's what I need, is my necessities.
Yeah.
That's it. It's nothing extra. The other client stuff is where it looks like a department store because there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
So what kind of, can we talk about your freelancing? Do you mind answering questions on that? What kind of makeup, obviously, but who are you doing makeup for? What's that income stream like?
I have had the privilege of doing makeup for celebrities. My first celebrity client was Raven Simone. I did her for the promos of The View when she was on there.
Oh, nice.
And then me and Raven used to work at the same mall. So like we know of each other's talents and our skills because that's what we do. And so she asked me if I was interested in coming to Drag Race and doing makeup for Celebrity Drag Race season 1. And so I worked with them for that, doing, all the celebrities for that show. And, before being able to do celebrity clients, I always did like a makeup for a bride here and there, but or a prom here and there. But now it's mostly based in television and movies that I'm doing my side little hustle now.
Okay, cool. And do you have to sign NDAs for a lot of those, or is it more public information?
Actually, I do.
Okay, I won't ask you like detailed questions about that. Like I mentioned, I'm an attorney, so love me a good NDA. You gotta respect the NDA, right?
We love NDA.
Yeah. And then the NDA gets you booked, right? That's why I have some clients and they're like, I don't really want to sign this. And I'm like, you're essentially just being paid to be quiet. So like, do you want the money or no?
Yeah, just keep your mouth shut and you'll get your check still. So
yeah, keep your mouth shut, do the work. Yeah, I've had like clients who photograph celebrity weddings, and for them, it's real big because like not only does it need to be confidential, they don't want the photos getting leaked to the media. So it's a whole thing. Okay, awesome. All right, I might try this segment on the podcast. You're the first person I'm having that as actually a professional drag queen. So thank you so much for taking a leap and trusting me to do this. Any tax or legal question you have for me that you think would be interesting for the audience?
Ooh, my tax question will probably be, how should I be filing my taxes? Because whenever I do go, when it's tax season, a lot of tax professionals are kind of like, wait, what do you do? And what? They're very confused on how to help me out sometimes. So what would be your advice?
Yeah, so this is really the reason why I'm starting this business. It's because I can only imagine when you have like you have your bank statements and you're like, here's the amount I spent on wigs this year and makeup and like dresses and Forever 21 and whatever, that these like 65-year-old accountants just are going to look at you like you have 18 heads. So I understand that potential dilemma. The way you would file, it's going to be based on your business structure, right? So right now, if you don't have a business, you're just going to file as a sole proprietor, but definitely you want to put all of that on a Schedule C. This is why I'm going to advise everyone to have a business bank account, even if you're like not a corporation or whatever, because in this way, if you're hiring me to do your tax return, I can just look at your bank statements and I'm going to assume that everything from that business account is business income and a business deduction. Versus if it's in one bank account, we got to spend a ton of time separating out the personal from the business, and that gets expensive and time consuming. Yeah, but you want to do that. Mayhem, we could even potentially form an S corporation for you and put you on payroll. Whether that's a good idea really depends on how much income you're bringing in. And I'm going to be doing episodes on all of the very sexy, juicy, exciting details of how those work. But yeah, that's something I do pretty regularly.
Okay, cool.
Wild and exciting. Okay. Anything I haven't asked you that you really want to talk about, Mayhem?
No.
A lot. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for answering all these questions. Before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about where people should follow you if they want to connect.
Well, you can always follow me on social media, every platform at The Only Mayhem. And that's where I keep everyone updated about my appearances, where I'm at in the world, where you can see me next. I'm always busy doing something.
And anything super exciting on the horizons that we should keep our eyes and ears open for?
Actually, yes, but I signed an NDA for that.
Okay, but you'll let us know.
Something is coming up very soon that's going to be amazing. So hopefully everyone will tune in and see. And then I have some other projects I'm working on, but I'm kind of taking a break after Pride Month to recenter and just celebrate me.
Nice.
So I'm gonna have some me time for a little bit, and then jumping back on tour again after Pride Month.
Okay, so you did say tune in, so I feel like that gives us a little bit of a clue that it's media related, everybody. So I'm playing Nancy Drew here. All right, well, Mayhem, thank you so much for coming on the Business of Drag podcast. I appreciate it with all of my gay heart. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Hi everyone, it's me, Rock Soccer from the cast of season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Do you need help doing your taxes? Of course you do. You're stupid, but you're pretty. You might be a drag queen and you can do dips and splits and all of that other stuff. You can grab $1, $2, but are you paying Uncle Sam? If you don't know how, you need help, and that's why you need Business of Drag. That's right, you need Business of Drag. Taxes are a drag. Tune in for help from a pro. All right, all you drag performers out there, taxes are stressful. We all know tax season. Taxes are stressful, stress causes wrinkles, and filler is not deductible. Hire us for help. You need it. You really, really do. Hey everyone at home. Ooh, there goes my titty. That is not deductible. Okay. Hey everybody, it's me, Rock'em Socker from the cast season. Hey everybody, it's me, Rock'em Socker from the cast season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm here to tell you that if you're stupid and pretty just like me, you might need help on your taxes, because taxes are a drag. But you need to tune in for help. Oh, motherfucker! God damn it, I got this wrong. Okay, one more time. Sorry. Hi everyone, it's me, Rock'em Socker from the cast season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys, if you're like me, you're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, stunning. People run down the street just to get a look at you. But you're also insanely stupid and not good at doing things like math or handling your money. That's why Business of Drag is here. Taxes are a drag. Tune in for help from a pro. Might I add, taxes are stressful. Stress causes wrinkles and filler is not deductible. No deductee. Hire us for help. You need it. Business of Drag! Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Or Uncle Sam will do a split on your throat, metaphorically speaking. Do your taxes.